Now this morning, we expect to hear more from Madison police when they release details about a shooting at a West Side apartment complex serving some of the city's most vulnerable residents.
And after a snoozer of a game, Tom Brady's taking home some more bling. We'll take a look at the lowest scoring game in Super Bowl history.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and welcome to News 3 Now this morning. It is Monday, February 4th. As you can see, some changes happened over the weekend.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a few.
Yeah, we will tell you more about our new set and all the new things that we can do for you here on News 3 Now this morning, coming up a little bit later on in the show. But before we do anything else, we want to talk about the history-making Super Bowl. The New England Patriots and Tom Brady waking up champions yet again.
Yeah, again. It was the lowest scoring Super Bowl matchup, though, ever for the NFL, breaking a record set back in 1971. The Rams and Patriots were tied at just three going into the fourth quarter. We had to wait until there were 7 minutes left in the game to see this touchdown run by Sony Michel. New England took the lead 10-3, and then Rams quarterback Jared Goff threw an interception with just over 4 minutes on the clock. Brady was able to drive 72 yards, setting things up for a field goal. The final score, 13-3. Wide receiver Julian Edelman is named the Super Bowl MVP, and he will be on CBS this morning after 7.
Bit of a snooze fest, if you ask me.
It just depends what you like. If you like a lot of defense,
that's
it was your thing.
I personally like it.
Right, I was about to say,
Exactly.
yeah, it's just too late.
It's way too late for me.
That's
so I'll have
true.
to catch up on all those commercials today. So a few funny ones, but I'll have to catch up today. Let's get you updated, though, with the weather. You may have noticed the fog across southern Wisconsin yesterday. Pretty thick with visibility less than 1/8 of a mile. We have seen some significant improvements overnight. The dense fog advisory has been canceled for most of the area, still in effect for Marquette and Green Lake counties until 10 o'clock this morning. Here's a look at current visibility readings. Now outside of Mineral Point, where visibility is 1/2 a mile, it has improved everywhere else across southern Wisconsin. So that's the good news. Not as much fog as you head to work this morning. You likely need the windshield wipers, though. We have rain in the forecast this morning with some scattered showers continuing to develop and fill in across southern Wisconsin. It'll be a very wet and mild start to the day today. Rain chances are confined to this morning. As a cold front moves through, we're going to see our temperatures go in the wrong direction. 46 is the high right about 10 o'clock, and then we drop from there for the rest of the day. Let's get a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. We'll see what's happening on the roads. It's getting a little busier on Stoughton Road. You're starting to see a few brake lights right around the Beltline and Stoughton Road, but otherwise, elsewhere across southern Wisconsin, things are still looking pretty good. Keep in mind, the roads could be wet. Temperatures, though, should be in the 40s in most locations. There shouldn't be too big of an issue with slippery spots on the roads early.
Watch out, though, because I know getting out of my car, just even in the parking lot out here.
Parking lots and sidewalks could be another story.
And we do have at least one school delay, Riverdale, rather, on a 2-hour delay, so there might be some fog out there still.
Yeah, be careful.
Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
We are expecting to learn more from Madison police this morning about what they're calling a targeted shooting on the city's west side. Police say they have a 27-year-old in custody who has not been charged as of last night. The 57-year-old man who was shot is doing okay. Now, this all happened yesterday morning, just before 11, outside the Seago Terrace Apartments. That's an affordable housing complex near Hilldale Mall, whose residents are mostly the elderly and people with disabilities. Those residents say it's a relatively quiet place to live on any other day.
It's a very good building, you know, and it's a good opportunity. And I've only seen like people treat each other good here for the most part. Yeah.
Police are expected to release more information later this morning about the man in custody, his connection with the victim, and what led to this shooting. We'll keep you updated here on News 3 Now and, of course, over on Channel3000.com.
A 25-year-old man is in custody this morning after MPD's SWAT team arrested him over the weekend. Daniel Smith was taken into custody after those officers executed a search warrant at a home on the city's west side. Now, police first responded to the 2000 block of Frisch Road around 8:45 Saturday night. They found 2 people outside who said someone was still inside a home with a gun. The SWAT team was called in and finally entered that home with a search warrant around 3:15 in the morning. Smith was arrested without incident and is waiting on official charges this morning.
There's some developing news out of Southern California this morning, where investigators are trying to figure out what caused a plane crash that killed 5 people. The pilot and all 4 passengers are dead, and 3 more injured after the Cessna plane blew up and crashed into a house about 30 miles south of Los Angeles. It had just lifted off from Fullerton Municipal Airport before the crash. The FAA and the NSTB are both investigating what happened there. Back in our area, you might notice some extra patrols down by the Memorial Union this week. That's because police are stepping up their security there after they say a complete stranger attacked a woman and sent her to the hospital. It happened around 3:30 Sunday morning on Langdon Street. There's no word on how the woman's doing this morning yet. Officers do not have anyone in custody, but they are adding those extra patrols to the area moving forward.
2 buildings on campus are closed and classes there are relocated, at least for today and tomorrow, after multiple pipes burst over the weekend. You're looking at pictures here from Vilas Hall. A UW-Madison spokesperson says a significant leak started between the 6th and 7th floors of that communications and theater building before water started flowing throughout the entire structure. A water main also broke in the chemistry building on Friday. Classrooms, offices, and labs were affected, but there's no damage estimate as of right now. Students and professors should receive email updates on any classes that have to be moved.
6:06 your time now. Lots of us living here in Wisconsin might be concerned about what last week's cold could mean when it comes time to pay the energy bill.
Yeah, some of us, though, may qualify for assistance, and we may not even know it. Josh Spreiter joins us live now to explain. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Before you panic, just remember officials say it's just too early to tell what kind of damage that record cold snap caused to our wallets. Experts with MG&E say the fluctuations in temperatures tend to balance out the total cost. For example, we went from well below average temperatures last week, but over the weekend we saw above normal temps. But the cold is expected to come back later this week, and if you're still concerned about keeping the family warm this winter, Wisconsin has many energy assistance programs available. Whether you're through MG&E, Alliant Energy, or another company, you do have the options in which you can apply depending on your income. The Wisconsin Home Energy Assistance Program, otherwise known as WEEP, is just one of those options available. WEEP provides assistance for heating costs, electric costs, and energy crisis situations. Now, of course, everyone's info is different, but according to the WEEP chart, if you have a family of 4 and make less than $53,000 a year, you can qualify for that assistance. We've put links on how you can calculate whether or not your family qualifies and all the other information you need to know. Just go to the all-new channel3000.com.
We're just all of us bracing for that bill at this point, Josh. We appreciate the information. Josh Spreiter reporting live this morning. Thank you so much.
A solar project that would be the biggest of its kind here in the Midwest is getting some mixed reviews from the folks who live near it. The energy company Invenergy is planning a 300-megawatt solar farm for Iowa County that would cover about 3,500 acres and use more than 1 million solar panels. Around 30 farmers in the Montford and Cobb area have agreed to lease their land for the so-called Badger Hollow Solar Farm project. One of those farmers is Peter Melby. While some are worried it's taking up too much farmland, Melby not only thinks it's good for the state, he says it's going to help him and his family as well.
Farming is just hard, and it has been for the last few years, and I'm not sure what the answer is, but for us, this is just a different opportunity for us in order to keep the farm.
Members of the Wisconsin Citizens Utility Board say they're worried about the project, that it might drive utility rates up for customers, and with a project this size, it could set a precedent in the state.
If we're going to do big projects like this, we should do it right, and the fact is we don't have rules of the road for how Wisconsin should permit these, and because of that, this case deserves extra scrutiny.
The Public Service Commission is still reviewing plans for Badger Hollow. A public hearing is scheduled for next month. If the project is approved, Invenergy plans to start construction this year.
It is almost 6:09 on this Monday morning, and even if you have a healthy child, you know how difficult it can be to get chores done or, God forbid, have some time to yourself. That task is even more daunting for parents of a kid with special needs. We'll talk to the head of Geo's Garden about the free respite care that organization provides and how you can help with its mission this weekend.
And your drive into work today might be a foggy one, then a slick one later in the week with freezing rain and snow in the forecast. Hattie's first alert forecast is next on News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning from the patio this morning. Actually need the umbrella with some light rain coming down right now. Hard to believe that just a few days ago it was too cold to be outside, and now we're talking rain. We also are talking about fog, and a dense fog advisory continues until 10 o'clock for Marquette and Green Lake counties. It has been canceled early, though, for the rest of the area. We've seen some significant improvement during the overnight hours on those fog conditions. Visibility is up to about 3/4 of a mile in Mineral Point, but elsewhere it has improved to better than a mile. There is some fog still left through central Wisconsin, though. Doppler track is showing you some light rain spreading through the area. These rain showers are in response to a cold front that will be moving through the area yet this morning. The rain chances are confined mainly to the morning hours for southern Wisconsin, and that's good news because temperatures are well above the freezing point this morning. There is some cold air on the backside of the system and to the north, and you can see that widespread snow from the UP all the way across northern Minnesota into North Dakota this morning. By the time it gets cold enough for snow, all the precipitation, though, will be to our east. We are focusing in on the middle of the week, though. Alert days are in the forecast starting Tuesday night through Thursday. We're going to have 2 rounds of mixed precipitation across southern Wisconsin. The first one late Tuesday into Wednesday, a break through the day on Wednesday, and then again Wednesday night into Thursday. We could see some freezing rain changing over to snow. So stay tuned. It gets a little dicey around here through the middle of the week. Right now, though, take a look at the temperature contrast. 2 below in Fargo this morning, 43 here in Madison. We're definitely on the warm side of things in southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at those numbers. Everyone in our viewing area at least in the 40s this morning. Your Future Track forecast model shows you that rain spreading across the area through the mid-morning hours. There is a potential for a little bit of mix to our north and west yet this morning before that precipitation comes to an end. Once that cold front moves through, winds shift to the northwest, and you'll see our temperatures go in the wrong direction for the rest of today. So colder when you head home from work than when you went into the office this morning. Temperatures continue to drop overnight. We'll bottom out in the teens tomorrow morning. Here's a look at your extended forecast then. We have those alert days in the forecast with the potential for mixed precipitation. Any precipitation is going to be pretty light through the morning, though, less than 1/4 of an inch in all locations. Here's a look at that extended forecast then. Highs right around 30 through the middle of the week, then turning colder. So definitely still a lot of winter left in this forecast. Let's get a look at your traffic maps this morning. We'll send it over to Jason Stone with all the details.
Possible this morning, give each other needed space while driving. No incidents or heavy traffic on the Beltline. Everyone is able to move at the posted speed limit. Brake lights are starting to show on Verona Road in both directions between the Beltline and Highway PD. Otherwise, all routes into Madison and the interstate are mostly clear. And currently, there are no major problems or delays commuting downtown. With your First Alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you, Hattie. So families who have kids with special needs know caring for them is really a full-time job.
Yeah, that's why places like Gio's Garden exist. Our colleague Charlotte DeLeste is the founder of that organization, which is hosting an event this weekend so we can all help those parents get a well-deserved break. Executive Director Val Madison is here with us this morning to talk about Gio's Garden. Thanks so much for joining us this
thanks
morning.
for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so for folks who might not know what Gio's Garden is all about, what are some of the services it offers?
So Gio's Garden provides therapeutic respite care for kids birth through 6 with special needs. So it's a place where parents can come in, drop off their kiddos for a couple hours to be able to take a break, get some things done around the house or take care of appointments and really just have a chance to have some time for themselves. And then while the children are there, they get to work on different developmental activities and really work on growing and work on skills that they need to work on.
Sure.
For those of us who have, you know, maybe a different looking family and don't have these challenges of having a family member with special needs, what does this service mean to those parents and those kids?
Yeah, a lot of families really struggle finding someone to help support their child. If you have a child that has epilepsy or seizures or G-tubes, you can't just call a neighbor down the street to come in to take care of your child. So it's really a place where parents don't have another option to be able to drop off their children that have really more medical or behavioral needs.
For those of us who are close with Charlotte, you know, we've seen just how much respite care means to her. What are you hearing from parents who use Gio's Garden?
Yeah, so parents just really believe it's almost life-saving or relationship-saving. I've had some parents come in and say just having a date night once a week is phenomenal and really helps save the relationship.
It keeps the family unit going. I mean, it's something that I don't know if all of families out there like truly can wrap their brains around and appreciate.
Right. Well, and it also gives the opportunity for parents to spend time with the other children in the family, because a lot of times there's so much attention on the child with special needs that the siblings felt left out.
So we have a second annual fundraiser coming up this weekend. Tell us a little bit about that.
We do. We have our Wintry Affair event. It is located at Smart Motors Toyota, which is a fantastic partnership we have with them. We transform the inside of the dealership into a fantastic venue. It's a night of appetizers, all you can drink, wine and beer, and then we have the Blue Olives there for music, and it's just a really great event. You can get tickets at giosgarden.org, and it's just a really fun night.
Yeah, I want to make sure that people know about the actual event, the information itself, if we can pop up that graphic there if we can. And Val, just in case people can't make it on Friday, what else can they do to help?
Yeah, if you visit our website, we have a wish list. There's always opportunities to volunteer, and there's a volunteer form right on the website. We love the support from the community, like for this event, Smart Motors, Mowers Market, Madison Property Management. Without community support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
Well, thank you for doing what you do.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
It's so important. Yeah.
Thanks for talking to us this morning. 6:19 your time now. A middle schooler in Lancaster is on his way back home from the trip of a lifetime. We're going to hear from the 7th grader who won a trip to the Super Bowl after writing an essay on how football helped him cope with grief. That's a really incredible story. It's up next.
Riverdale schools are running on a 2-hour delay this morning after the fog today. Hattie does expect a messy first alert forecast with snow and freezing rain this week. That's when News 3 Now this morning returns.
News 3 Now First Alert Weather Center. We are seeing some improving conditions with the fog. Behind me, you can actually see the dome of the Capitol, which is a nice improvement over yesterday. Fog conditions will continue to improve this morning. We're still dealing with visibility less than a mile in Mineral Point, but elsewhere it has improved to better than 2 miles. Here's a look at our current temperatures. We are off to a very mild start in the 40s this morning. However, with some rain moving through the area along a cold front, it is going to turn colder later today. So remind those kiddos as they head to the bus stop that it may be wet this morning. It'll be dry this afternoon, but temperatures will be colder when they come home than when they head to school. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Hattie. So you've probably noticed by now that we have a bit of a new space. We are really excited to show it off.
Yeah, it's been a couple of months that are really, really busy for us here at News 3 Now. We've been planning for these changes for the past year. And you might remember, we left our old set back in early December. Since then, we've been working on this new set. You can see the 2 new video displays being built right there, a new weather center, and a series of other tools that's going to help us bring you the latest breaking news, weather, and all of the stories that are really important to southern Wisconsin. We've been on the air since 1956, and this is our biggest studio renovation to date.
So as you can see, we do have the 2 massive monitors we were just telling you about. That's going to give us more chances to tell stories and share information in the best way possible. We also wanted our name to reflect what we strive to do every day. That's tell you what's happening right now and bring you those important stories as soon as they happen.
We know you rely on Channel 3000 to stay connected 24/7, right? Well, now our Alert Center is going to feed those updates right to our broadcast show in real time. That's also going to help us with our ultimate goal to bring you the most local news in our area. We're investing more of our time and resources on what's happening in your backyard with the most reporters and the most photographers on the street every day. This is the new News 3 Now, and we are so glad to have you tune in. Lots of change, but ultimately it's going to help us serve you better.
Most definitely. All right, so I don't know about you, but I was pretty content watching the Super Bowl from the comfort of my couch. But for one middle schooler from Lancaster, the dream of being there has already come true. Will Bussin is a 7th grader in Lancaster. He plays football and watches almost every Sunday. He wrote a short essay a few months back about what the sport means to him, and he was one of 2 people chosen to go to the Super Bowl. Amy Reed sat down with him before he left for Atlanta about what an honor it is to be picked.
It's just such a big goal that maybe it could never happen, but it was just so exciting to finally just to experience it and get to go to it. A one-in-a-lifetime kind of thing, I'd say. Yeah.
Will's essay focused on how football helped him cope with the death of his grandfather, the person who really handed down his own love of the game to Will. He and his mom said it felt like Grandpa had a hand in him winning these tickets. Such a great story.
So happy for Will, but he was cheering for the Rams, who lost. I'm sure he still loved the event.
Yeah, it's got to be so cool.
Yeah.
6:25 right now. Madison leaders are hoping faster rides will get more people using public transit. We'll have an update on the bus rapid transit plans next on News 3 Now this morning.
And if you're worried about what the negative 50-degree wind chills last week did to your energy bill, Josh Breiter has some good news about why you might not see too big of a spike. That's when News 3 Now this morning continues.
As the city thinks about investing more than $150,000 towards security at a West Side apartment complex, we'll get an update on police calls there.
After last week's ridiculously cold weather, you may be concerned when it comes to time to pay that next energy bill. I'm Josh Bruder, live with what experts say you should be prepared for.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning and welcome to the final half hour of News 3 Now this morning. It is Monday, February 4th. And we are bracing for a bit of a change again, weather-wise. We're all over the place, but that's not the reason necessarily that your office might be a little emptier than normal today.
Yeah, a sudden onset of the flu, perhaps, seems to be the thing every Monday after the Super Bowl, and there are numbers to back that up. The online news site Watch says around 17 million people might miss work after the big game. That's the biggest estimate ever for the day after the Super Bowl. Of the employers surveyed for the story, almost 8 million people say they're taking a pre-approved day off. 12.5 million will work from home, and another 4.7 million will call out sick. I'm thinking most Packers fans probably just went to bed.
Right, especially with the low-scoring game. That was the lowest-scoring game in Super Bowl history, which
Snooze
is
fest.
Yeah, unless you like really good defense.
That's
but
true.
If you don't like seeing Tom Brady and his crew win again, there are so many factors that made it a little boring for some.
You know, I was in bed early, and I bet Hattie was too. That's why she's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed out on her back patio. Hats, how's it feeling out there?
Not bad this morning. Don't even need the hat this morning. And you're right, I was sleeping during the Super Bowl. Just too late when you have to work this shift. But we'll catch up on all those commercials a little bit later on today. Let's get you up to date, though, with those weather conditions. Here's a live look from our Platteville cam. It's noticeably dark this morning for one, but there are also some raindrops on the camera lens and a little bit of fog in the area, although fog conditions have improved greatly this morning. Here's a look at Doppler track showing you that we are talking some rain showers today. I've had the umbrella out here in the backyard weather patio a couple times, and it looks like some more rain will be ready to move into Madison shortly. So grab the umbrella as you head out the door today. Temperatures are quite mild. There's a little bit of fog in southwestern Wisconsin and then through the central part of the state, but conditions have improved quite a bit since yesterday. We're looking at visibility about 5 miles here in Madison. Mild temperatures to start the day as well. We're in the 40s across all of southern Wisconsin, 46 in Prairie du Chien, 43 here in Madison, and 45 in Platteville. Now, don't get too used to these temperatures because they will drop back through the day today. Take a look at your temperature trend. We are headed downward back through the 30s during the afternoon. So it'll actually be colder when you head home from work than it is this morning. Now let's get an update on your first alert traffic maps this morning. We're not seeing any major delays showing up just yet on the maps. A little slow as you approach 151 from Stoughton Road, but otherwise, elsewhere around the region, there aren't any accidents to report. Looks like you're still going at posted speeds heading into Madison. And that's your first alert traffic.
Keep an eye on that fog just in case. All right. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Your time right now is 6:33, just about, and your heat has probably been working overtime in the past week, which could mean an unusually high utility bill is on the way.
Yeah, our Josh Bruder talked to the experts about what to expect and what kind of help is out there. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. Yeah, most likely the old meter last week probably skyrocketed as you tried to keep that temperature up in your home. But experts say it's just too early to tell what that cold snap is going to mean when it comes time to pay those energy bills. And here's why. An MG&E spokesperson tells News 3 Now a colder than normal period does not necessarily mean an increase in the total heating bill for a month. Heating bills are driven by usage, like how much natural gas customers use. According to MG&E, everybody's usage is different. When the temperatures are colder, like they were for a few days last week, our furnaces run more, which means we use more natural gas. That also means when the temperatures are milder, like our unseasonably mild weather over the weekend, our furnaces run less. Experts say that tends to balance out some of that cold weather usage. Of course, that colder weather is returning in the forecast, as Hattie has mentioned, so if you're still concerned about how to pay for that electric bill and keep your family warm, there are actually energy assistance programs available here in Wisconsin for whatever company you get your energy from. We've posted links with all the information you need to know and to actually apply for that assistance on the all-new Channel3000.com.
All right, some good tips there. Thank you, Josh.
Your time right now is 6:34. After the dangerously cold weather last week, some of the agencies committed to helping the area's homeless will talk about what they did to keep people safe and warm. The city's Homeless Issues Committee will also get an update today on issues at Tree Lane Apartments. Madison police have responded to that complex on the west side hundreds of times since it opened in June. The city is now considering spending $165,000 for security there. Heartland Housing is the organization that runs Tree Lane Apartments that primarily serves chronically homeless families. That organization will update the committee on the situation there tonight.
If you have avoided using public transit in Madison because it takes too long to get places, the city's continuing conversations about a system to significantly shorten those times. Bus Rapid Transit would use bus-only lanes throughout Madison to get riders to their destinations more quickly. For instance, the Metro ride from the Capitol Square to Westtown Mall would go from 40 or 50 minutes to just half an hour. Residents have ranked fast, reliable buses, pedestrian connections, and convenient transfers as some of their top priorities. The Transportation Commission is going to talk about the BRT at its meeting tonight.
That group will also talk about possible improvements on a couple downtown streets to help make things safer for drivers, bikers, and pedestrians. Specifically, they'll be talking about Wilson and Bassett streets. There are reconstruction projects scheduled for this year on both of those roads. Among the ideas being discussed are raising walking and biking paths above the roads and painting them green. All right, if you live on the Far East Side, you could hear fighter jets flying over your house all week. The 115th Fighter Wing at Truax Field will be conducting F-16 drills. Those will last as late as 10 p.m. tonight through Thursday. Pilots are following flight paths that are designed to minimize noise in neighborhoods, but the evening flight times are essential for training.
You have the chance to talk face-to-face with Southern Wisconsin's newest representative in Congress. Representative Brian Stile is holding a series of listening sessions today to hear about what people living in the 1st Congressional District think are the biggest issues Congress should address. There are sessions scheduled for Janesville, Lake Geneva, and Bristol today. Those run from around 9 this morning until 2 this afternoon. All of those sessions are free and open to the public. All right, 6:36 your time now. Virginia's governor is facing some pressure from his own party to resign over a controversial yearbook photo. That story's coming up in the morning sprint.
And as you think about filing your taxes online or on paper, there's a warning about scammers trying to steal your identity over the phone. That's when News 3 Now this morning continues.
Welcome back. So we always ask you to share your morning with us, and Julie Hogue sent us this photo. If we can bring that up, this is a photo of eagles released by the Raptor Education Group over the Wisconsin River. I just think this is a gorgeous shot that's probably pretty hard to get.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's probably like the rapid fire photo option on some kind of camera or camera phone to get that one. Julie, great shot. Thank you for sharing it. Yeah. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it on any of our social media pages, but please, please, please use that hashtag MyNews3Morning so we can find them. And then, of course, we share our favorites every morning here on the program. A heads up that you should have gotten your latest W-2 documents by last week, so be sure to bug your employer if you haven't. As we head toward the April 15th deadline to file for taxes, experts say there could be another $20 to $60 billion in refunds this year across the country. Keep in mind, though, you may have already gotten some of that back in your paycheck since the new tax law was passed last year. That law nearly doubled the standard deduction for families and increased the federal child tax credit. CBS News business analyst Jill Schelzinger says that even after the government shutdown happened, the IRS expects to issue refunds within 3 weeks for anyone filing online and 6 weeks for paper filers. She also suggests going to the IRS website with any questions rather than waiting on hold over the phone.
Since we are officially in tax season, that means scammers are ramping up efforts to steal your personal information. Those criminals might give you a call, claiming to be someone from the Social Security Administration or another government agency. They might threaten to take you to court or block your Social Security number if you don't provide personal information. Well, the Better Business Bureau is reminding everyone the federal government will not contact you over the phone for that kind of information. You also can't trust your caller ID because scammers can use fake numbers that look like they're legitimate. Okay, we are all over the place weather-wise this week. Dense fog and rain today, followed by snow chances and freezing rain for the rest of the week.
Yeah, Hattie will prepare us for all of it in her first alert forecast that's coming up on News 3 Now this morning. Stay with us.
Okay, so lots of people online are weighing in on the halftime performance from three-time Grammy-winning band Maroon 5 and hip-hop star Travis Scott. But maybe grabbing more attention was this, the tribute to SpongeBob during the show. Millions of fans signed a petition to include the cartoon's rendition of Sweet Victory at the big game to pay tribute to the show's creator, who passed away from ALS in November. Some people were bigger fans of that SpongeBob clip than the actual performance.
Yeah.
What did you think of the show?
You know, it's always exciting, right? There's a lot of pyrotechnics, as you can see right here. A lot going on, a lot of people pumped up, but I don't know. It wasn't one of my favorites, maybe.
Oh, you know me. I'm not too interested unless there's a Merle Haggard or some other country star on the stage.
I didn't even know who you just were talking about, full disclosure. I have no idea. I just assumed that.
That's fair. That's fair. Eric Church?
Yeah, I do
Kenny
know.
Chesney?
Yeah. I do know
Tim
one
McGraw?
other. I know another name, Hattie McLean. She
Ooh.
has an MVP-style forecast, at least we think so, from the News 3 Now Weather Center. Hi, Hads.
Good morning. Yeah, I was not a part of that halftime show. I know you're surprised to hear that, but I was here. Let's take a look at all the weather details. We have a pretty mild day coming up today. Normal high is 28. We're well above that, almost 20 degrees above normal, but we do transition back to more typical wintertime temperatures as we go through the rest of the week. Dense fog advisory has now been canceled for Marquette and Green Lake County, so no one in our viewing area under a dense fog advisory. That's good news. Still dealing with a little bit of fog in southwestern Wisconsin. Visibility is at 1/4 mile in Mineral Point, less than 2 miles in Boscobel as well as Platteville, but it has improved here in Madison. We're looking at some light rain shifting through the area from southwest to northeast today. These will be light showers. They'll add up to less than 1/4 inch, but you may want to grab that umbrella early on today. We do have alert days, though, in the forecast. Starting Tuesday night, some alert days in the forecast through Wednesday morning, and then again Wednesday night into Thursday. We're talking 2 separate systems that will take a similar track, both of them bringing the chance for mixed precipitation to southern Wisconsin. So let's take a closer look at that. Here's our future track forecast model. Starting Tuesday, late in the afternoon, evening, you see some light snow spreading into southern Wisconsin. That moves across the state. It may mix with a little bit of freezing rain at times, but it comes to an end on Wednesday morning. Then a bit of a break through the day on Wednesday, but here's Wednesday evening, 5:30. You see some more mixed precipitation moving into the state. And I think Wednesday night into Thursday morning, we have a better chance to see more significant freezing rain and rain as well as snow. All 3 types of precipitation across southern Wisconsin. It'll eventually come to an end through the day on Thursday, turning colder then with northwesterly winds behind that second system. We will see more liquid precipitation, though, across southern Wisconsin. So adding up those couple of events, we could see anywhere from 1/4 inch to maybe a little bit more than 1/2 inch in some spots. Now, our current conditions this morning, some light rain at the airport, 43 degrees right now. 40s and 50s here. Take a look at the cold air on the map in the Dakotas. 8 below in Bismarck, 4 below in Rapid City this morning. So a big change in our temperature through the day today. Our highs will be early morning, 46, probably about 10 o'clock. Winds shift to the northwest for the afternoon. We're looking at temperatures then dropping through the 30s. And as we head into tonight, it will be colder. Overnight low temperatures dropping to around 16 degrees with a northwesterly wind. No precipitation then overnight tonight. That extended forecast has temperatures that will feel a little bit more like winter, but keep in mind there is the potential for some mixed precipitation late Tuesday into Wednesday, and then again Wednesday night into Thursday. Finally, some sun back in the forecast for the end of the week, but much colder with a high of just 15 degrees. Oh. Look at this snow picture. Brutus in Sauk City.
Buddy.
Loving the snow. It was nice to finally get out and play in the snow
Brutus
this last weekend.
Been cooped up at home.
We've all been cooped up inside.
Love that. All right. Thank you, Hattie.
You're welcome.
Morning Sprints coming up next right here on News 3 Now. 6:52, time for the morning sprint. Hattie says we are starting the day out warm before temperatures drop through the day.
But it won't be nearly as bad as last week's extreme cold, which might have you concerned about your energy bill. Josh Breiter is going to tell us what to expect. But we start on Madison's west side, where police are expected to share more information about what they're calling a targeted shooting outside Seago Terrace Apartments. That's an affordable housing complex near Hilldale Mall, whose residents are mostly the elderly and people with disabilities. Police say they do have a 27-year-old in custody who has not been charged as of last night. The 57-year-old man who was shot is doing okay. We're going to bring you the latest updates over on channel3000.com.
Madison city leaders will get an update on issues at Tree Lane Apartments later today. Madison police have responded to that West Side complex hundreds of times since it opened back in June. Now the city is considering spending $165,000 for security there. Heartland Housing manages those apartments that primarily serve chronically homeless families. That organization will update the city's Homeless Issues Committee on safety there tonight.
A 25-year-old man is in custody this morning after MPD's SWAT team executed a search warrant at his West Side home over the weekend. Daniel Smith was arrested without any problems. Police got to the home around 9 Saturday night and found two people outside who said someone inside the home had a gun. The SWAT team went in around 3 a.m. Smith is awaiting official charges this morning.
New this morning out of Southern California, federal investigators are trying to figure out what caused a fatal plane crash. The Cessna crashed into a house about 30 miles south of Los Angeles. It had just taken off from Fullerton Municipal Airport when it went down. The pilot and four people who were inside the home at the time are all dead. The FAA and NTSB are now investigating what happened.
Mild temperatures and a little bit of rain this morning. You can see some rain just west of Madison. We'll be moving through the area shortly, so grab that umbrella early today. A little bit of fog as well through southwestern Wisconsin, where visibility is down to 1/4 mile in Mineral Point. As a cold front moves through the area, the fog and rain will come to an end. But that's going to cause temperatures to drop through the day. We're starting in the 40s. We'll end up back in the low 30s later on this evening.
Experts say it's still too early to tell what last week's record cold temperatures will mean for our wallets when it comes time to paying the bills. A spokesperson with MG&E says the fluctuations in temperatures tend to balance out the total cost. For example, we went from well below average temperatures last week, but over the weekend we saw above normal temps. But if you're still concerned about keeping the family warm this winter, especially with more cold weather on the way, Wisconsin has more energy assistance programs available. Whether you're through MG&E, Alliant Energy, or another company, you do have options in which you can apply depending on your income.
Thank you, Josh. You might notice extra patrols down by the Memorial Union this week. Police are stepping up security there after they say a complete stranger attacked a woman and sent her to the hospital. It happened around 3:30 Sunday morning on Langdon Street. There's no word on how that woman is doing this morning. Officers don't have anyone in custody, but they are adding extra patrols to that area moving forward.
We're getting reaction from the state's Citizen Utility Board this morning about a proposed solar farm project in Iowa County. Members of that group think it will drive up utility rates and set a precedent in Wisconsin. The so-called Badger Hollow project would be the largest solar project of its kind in the Midwest, with more than 1 million panels. Farmers who are leasing their land for that work say it's going to help them get through tough economic times. A public hearing on the project is scheduled for next month.
Representative Brian Stile is holding a series of listening sessions today to hear what people living in the 1st Congressional District think should be the biggest issues Congress should address. There are sessions scheduled for Janesville, Lake Geneva, and Bristol today. They run from around 9 this morning until 2 this afternoon.
Virginia's governor faces mounting pressure from fellow Democrats to resign, but he says he's staying in office. Governor Ralph Northam has apologized for the 1984 yearbook photo that shows him dressed as Michael Jackson in blackface. Another person, as you can see in that picture, is dressed in a Ku Klux Klan outfit. Governor Northam says he is not offering his resignation at this time.
The Super Bowl 53 victory parade will happen tomorrow morning in Boston. Tom Brady earned the 6th title of his career as the Patriots beat the Rams 13-3. That's the lowest Super Bowl score in NFL history. At 41, Brady is the oldest starting quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Super Bowl MVP Julian Edelman will be on CBS this morning to talk more about their big win.
All right, it is almost 6:57 right now. Let's get one more check on traffic with Jason Stone. Hi, Jason.
Hello. No problems on the Beltline. Motorists are moving at the posted speed limit. Delays are starting on John Nolan at North Shore Drive. Otherwise, roads around Madison and routes coming in are mostly clear. Hey, your new studio looks good. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Jason.
Thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate it.
And here's the live look from the Edgewater Skycam this morning. Kind of a gray start to the day and a wet one as well. Grab that umbrella as some rain is expected through the morning hours. It'll come to an end as highs reach 46 mid-morning. Then we drop back this afternoon. So bummer, kind of like those 40s, but we're back into the teens overnight tonight.
Quite the roller coaster.
Yes, hang on.
All right, thank you, Hattie. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed our studio as much as we do. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Stay safe with the fog out there this morning.